Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Insider Dave Spadaro, thrilled to be with you as we explore the world of the Philadelphia Eagles. Thursday night's game is over. The Eagles have a couple of days off to rest and relax and get ready for the Carolina Panthers next weekend. The NFC East, well, it's wide open. The Eagles up and down after 6 games, but a lot of football to get to. Later in the show, we're going to take you back to Sunday and that very tough loss against the Minnesota Vikings. We had Carson Wentz all mic'd up. It's our Sounds of the Week. But first, we'd like to take you inside the world of rest and recovery. A couple of very key Eagles coming back from 2017 injuries, getting ready for 2018. We draw back the curtains and take a look at a process that is excruciating, that is painful, and that at times is very lonely. It's The Comeback, episodes 1 and 2.
We were playing a Thursday night game against Carolina Panthers.
I went into the Monday night at the Redskins game.
So we're playing against the LA Rams down there.
McCaffrey is the returner, 54-yard punt.
Redskins head to the shotgun. Cousins. Wentz to his right. Flag is down.
I was going to make a tackle on punt coverage, and my foot was in the ground, and I got hit on the front of my knee, and it hyperextended backwards and kind of popped that ligament there.
That is Maragos. His team huddled around him as he was down on the field. They love him.
I think it was the second play of the game. I was covering somebody, and as I turned to go, I felt it pop when I knew exactly what happened as soon as I felt it. So the docs came up, told him, it's gone.
This is a big injury right now for Philadelphia.
And that does not look good.
I scrambled around and ended up diving into the end zone. The play eventually got called back, but I kind of got sandwiched in between 2 players, and just the way they hit my knee, it was kind of fluky, but it went the wrong way. And didn't know it at the time, but after that drive, my season was over.
Well, nobody wants to see this. Wentz is going off to the locker room.
I think the hardest part about rehabbing is just the unknown aspect of it. I think mentally you have to gear up to know that there's going to be a lot of unknowns and to just take it as it comes, trust the process.
Unfortunately, I've been through it a few times, and I kind of know what to expect.
And you've got Jordan Hicks is down, so Hicks goes to the bench.
Your first few rehabs are very tough. You're not used to the time schedule, the time management. You go from being a part of everything to being literally a part of nothing, and it feels like you're secluded, and it's more mental really than anything.
Mentally it was challenging, knowing where we were at as a team. We just clinched the NFC East at the time, and all of our goals were still before us, and to know I wasn't going to be a part of that on the field, that was tough. But I knew there was a purpose for it. I knew I just had to work through it. And fortunately, there was another handful of guys that were also rehabbing. So we just all kind of motivated each other in there. And so I think it made everyone, push themselves a little further, a little harder, and made it more enjoyable at the same time.
Hey, can you go get brother? Yeah.
All right, so you go and grab Micah while we're out here.
Okay.
My wife has been huge for me, encouraging me through the highs and lows, always having my back through every situation. And then, of course, my Eagles family, my teammates, the coaches, the organization, giving me everything that I need to get back healthy.
Obviously, me and Chris Maragos have gotten really close through this whole thing, but, I think about Sproles, and when he was in there, he was calling out everybody, like, you're not doing that thing right, make sure you're doing that. Or, JP saying, come with me, young buck, let's get on this bench. And really, we were able to feed off of each other, especially going through times like this. It's never easy, and you're gonna have your ups and downs, and on those down days, you need somebody to push you. You need somebody there who understands what you're going through. I couldn't imagine having to walk in every morning and eat breakfast by myself and go to treatment by myself and work out by myself. That would have been a horrible, horrible experience. But the fact that I had guys to go through it with me, to really just push and constantly talk into you and tell you you're gonna do great things next year and motivate you, and that's what it's all about, and that's what we did for each other.
I've had a handful of people support me throughout this process. My family, my fiance has been through this every step of the way with me, and then the good Lord. The good Lord has just been the rock. In those tough times, I can just look to him, and I know he's got a perfect plan for me, even though I don't genuinely always understand it, but I can always just turn to him and trust that he knows what's best for me.
Let's look at a couple of facts. Carson Wentz won't play. Hall of Fame left tackle for Philly won't play. Top linebacker won't play. Folks, we've seen this movie before. This is going to be New England, and it's going to be New England comfortably.
Super Bowl week was kind of a whirlwind of emotions. You know, it's something you dream of as a kid, being on the field, standing on that podium, and all those things happen other than wearing my pads.
You know, obviously it was tough mentally, emotionally. It's tough because you want to be out there playing, but you know that the guys are moving forward, that they're doing everything that they can, and you just support them the best way that you can, and man, we're world champs.
It's always big to stay involved. I want to be a part of the team. I want to help the guys go out there and compete and ultimately win a Super Bowl like we did. But I guess I had a little bit more time than everybody else. Me and Chris really were buddy-buddy. We were hip to hip because we were on the same schedule. And while guys were doing stuff that we weren't supposed to be at, we didn't have to be at, then, you know, we would go do our own thing. I know for those guys, it was hectic, it was crazy. The whole week is just a blur. For us, it was a great time to see the energy of the city, to see the energy of the Philly fans that were there, and to really just have the perspective of how big of an event it was.
Carson, how you feeling, man?
Good, man. Good.
I mean, really, how you feeling? I mean, this is a moment. I know it's not the moment that you would expect it, but the camera panned to you after you guys clinched it last week, and I saw, like, you're happy for your teammates, but I also saw, like, dang, this could have been it.
Yeah, there's real human emotion, you know, without a doubt. You know, I'm as supportive as anybody for this team, and especially Nick, just seeing him take over. We're so close, you know, off the field as well. But at the same time, there's those real emotions that are human, and I don't know many people more competitive than myself, and so wanting to be out there is definitely tough.
Ball's going deep, and it is caught by Jeffrey for a touchdown! Touchdown! Touchdown by Nick Foles! The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions.
I can't believe it. You deserve this, brother. I can't believe it. Oh, baby. Unbelievable.
As I go through rehab, you know, I'm motivated, A, to just get back there, to kind of redeem the last so many weeks of last season. But also, I just know there's a bigger purpose to this. I know that God's using me as his instrument, and I just truly believe it's going to be quite the comeback story. I truly believe I'll come back stronger and better than ever.
My whole mindset turned on saying this is the worst thing that could have happened to the league or to my opponents, because the mindset I have right now, the hunger I'm going to have when I come back, the motivation to just be a completely different player is so much higher. You know, I think the ability to feed off of each other and to be reminded every single day of why we're doing this and how we're doing this was huge. To have those guys in there with me was a big time advantage for me.
To kind of come together and see how everybody was sacrificing for the guy next to them to not let them down, and the glue of everybody coming together and the level of respect and trust really goes beyond words, because you can't really explain the depth of that.
Hey, welcome back. Kickoff 2018 season. We're starting this season over, starting from ground zero, day one. The new normal starts today. The season's gonna be here before you know it. If you wanna hold that trophy again, what are you willing to give up? Now's the time to put in the work, as there's no secrets to success. We found out last year, right? We went through adversity, next guy stood up. Eliminate distractions, create energy, fear nothing, and attack everything you do.
Last Sunday, the Minnesota Vikings came to town for a rematch of January's NFC Championship game. Both the Vikings and the Eagles struggling going into the game, which turned out to be a physical and emotional contest. We put a microphone on quarterback Carson Wentz to give you the inside feel of what was happening on the field. It's our Sounds of the Week. Check it out.
Week 5 of the NFL season brought the Vikings back to Philadelphia, where just 10 months earlier they had lost in the NFC Championship game. The Vikings were looking to exact revenge, and the Eagles were looking to find their identity as the game kicked off.
1st and 10, play action. Cousins is back, loading up, firing, and it is a diving reception downfield to Adam Thielen.
Minnesota opened the game with a 12-play, 65-yard drive, but the defense stood tall in the red zone, and the Vikings had to settle for a field goal attempt.
And it's no good. It hit the left upright. Wentz takes the snap again. Here comes the rush. He ducks out. He rolls left. He stumbles, and he's down. Brought down by Linval Joseph.
The Eagles couldn't capitalize on the Vikings' miscue. After Philadelphia punted, Minnesota was again in field goal range.
Here is Dan Bailey with a 37-yard attempt. He missed his 28-yard attempt. This one is up, and it is good, and the Eagles trail 3-0.
Trailing by 3, the Eagles' offense went to work.
180! What's up?
Back goes Wentz. He's looking. He is going deep, and it is caught! It is caught!
Hey, let's go! Let's go! Come on!
By Shelton Gibson! Here is a 30-yard field goal attempt by Jake Elliott to tie the game. Ball is spotted, kick is up, and the kick is good, and it's 3-3.
The Vikings drove into Eagles territory again, but the bend-don't-break Eagles defense held them to another field goal opportunity.
Cousins gives to Murray. He bulldozes his way up the middle and has a first down at the 27-yard line before Jenkins stops him. This is going to be a 45-yard attempt for Dan Bailey. Ball is spotted, the kick is away, and the kick is no good. He's 1 for 3.
After 2 missed field goals, the offense took the field to seize the moment.
Ball at the Vikings 31, 3-3 the score. 4.5 to go in the first half. Wentz straight back. Wentz looks. The football comes out of his hands, and it's intercepted. And running with the ball is Joseph. To the 30, to the 20, to the 10, the 5. Linval Joseph scores a touchdown. I don't think he's ever run that far.
Trailing by 7, the Eagles once again went 3 and out, and the Vikings snatched their opportunity to shift the momentum.
Double tight end. Under center. Play action. Cousins back, firing for the end zone, and it is a touchdown. They're saying it is to Adam Thielen, 9 yards deep.
With the first half behind them, the Eagles drove the field to start the second half. Then a miscue at the 6-yard line cost them possession, but more importantly, points.
Wentz into Ajayi, who is hit at the 5-yard line, loses the football. Let's see. Ajayi fumbled it, and the Vikings take over.
Yep, they turned it over again.
Shake it off. Hey, long game now. Long game now. Hey, we ain't done. Long game. We're gonna go right back down. We're just gonna finish this time. Come on, stay together. Stay together all day. Come on. Come on, we're gonna go right back down. Stay together, come on.
As the teams traded field goals, the Eagles couldn't make up any ground on the scoreboard. They would need to score touchdowns.
Wentz in the gun, 2nd and 8. He's back, he steps up, he's looking, he floats it, complete, Ertz, 45 and down to the 41.
Good job, good job. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
Wentz back, Wentz looking, Wentz firing, got Smolin, touchdown!
Down by 6 points, the Eagles' defense needed a stop or a turnover.
Cousins in the gun. Floats it out and it's dropped. Now the Eagles are on it, and there's the turnover you've been waiting for. What a comeback this would be.
With the turnover, it seemed momentum might have switched teams.
Wentz calling for the football, and he gives it off to Ajayi. Penalty flag down as Ajayi moves the pile and comes across the 25 to the 23. But let's see. If it's a holding penalty against the Eagles, it would hurt.
I think it's going to be an alignment penalty again.
The offense's mistakes cost them a shot at a field goal. They would have to depend on the defense once again.
A big 3rd and 1. Cousins is back. He is looking wide open. Has the first down to Kyle Rudolph along the sideline, but they say he stepped out of bounds at the 39-yard line.
Minnesota methodically drove the field.
Dan Bailey will attempt the field goal, a 52-yarder. He has missed from 28. He has missed from 45. If he makes this, it is going to be very tough for the Eagles to come back.
All of Lincoln Financial Field held its collective breath.
The ball is spotted. The kick is away, and the kick is good.
Tell you one thing we don't do is we don't lay down.
Trailing by 9 points, the Eagles would need 2 scores. Time was of the essence. and they were prepared.
We got no timeouts. We got to play fast. I don't care the situation. We play until this clock hits 0, right?
Now it's all about the clock. 150, 149, 148. Wentz back. He's looking. He fires, and it is caught. Touchdown, Zach Ertz. Corner of the end zone.
Trailing by 2 points with just seconds remaining, the Eagles' only hope for victory was to recover their onside kick.
Here it is. It goes off a Viking. There's a fight for the ball. I don't know. There's a pile.
They got it back.
The Vikings got it back. And that is all she wrote. They show fight, they show desire, but sometimes that's just not enough.
The Eagles and the Giants renew their NFC East rivalry on Thursday night. There's still one more game between the teams later in the season in South Philadelphia. We wanted to take a look at the series, one of the greatest in Eagles history, one that's included a few miracles at the Meadowlands. And when we return, Merrill Reese and Mike Quick will take a look at the making of a miracle on Inside the Eagles. It's our old school All 22.
Hi, Merrill Reese, along with Mike Quick, and welcome to Old School All 22. When people ask me about my favorite game of all time, now I will tell you, now it was February 4th, 2018 in the Eagles Super Bowl championship.
Of course it was the Super
But
Bowl.
if you asked me a week before that Super Bowl, or asked me a day before that Super Bowl for my favorite game, it occurred on December 19th, 2010. It was another one of those miracles of the Meadowlands.
Well, and everyone remembers the Deshaun Jackson return, the walk-off return for a touchdown, but there was so much more building up to that. The Eagles' offense was a mess in the first half, and a big part of that was the pressure brought by the Giants' defense. Defensive coordinator Perry Fewell bought a ton of cover zero and all-out blitz at quarterback Michael Vick. The Eagles were in trouble. There was confusion. You can see here, Vick tries to throw a screen to the left against the pressure scheme, but the timing is just off, and he takes a sack. This was a consistent theme throughout the first half, but as the game wore on, the Eagles were better prepared for this all-out pressure. Midway through the fourth quarter, the Giants sent a cover zero blitz at Vick on first down. As you can see, there's no safety help in the middle of the field. That means that if Vick can beat this blitz, he's got nothing but green grass in front of him. And that's exactly what happened. Vick ducks under the trouble and races 35 yards for a first down. All because the Giants had no one on him at the second or third level of the defense. Later in the game, facing 2nd and 3 on the 13-yard line, the Giants again showed a threat of cover zero pressure before the snap. Vick sees that there's just one defender out wide over Jeremy Maclin, so he changes the play. J-Mac runs a quick curl route. Vick gets the ball out quickly, and Maclin does the rest, sprinting into the end zone to tie the game. The Giants get the ball back. The Eagles force a punt. The rest is history.
Inside the Eagles is brought to you by McDonald's, proud partner of the Philadelphia Eagles, and by Rothman Institute at Jefferson, the official orthopedic and healthcare partner of the Philadelphia Eagles. Time now to hear from you as we ask you each week to go to Twitter at Eagles using the hashtag Ask An Eagle. You ask us a question about a player, we'll take it to the player, and maybe you'll get it on the show. It's our Ask An Eagle segment presented by Geico, and this week we feature wide receiver Shelton Gibson.
Hey, Doc Rakowski asks, what changed your mindset from last year to this year? I would say my mindset from last year to this year is just more confidence and earning the trophies from the quarterbacks and the coaches and just going out there and having fun.
And that will do it for this week's Inside the Eagles. The football team back in action next Sunday against the Carolina Panthers at Lincoln Financial Field. Another key NFC game for the Eagles. We thank you for joining us. Make sure you stay tuned to PhiladelphiaEagles.com and our official app all weekend long as we bring you the very latest on your favorite football team. Thanks again, everyone. Have yourselves a great Eagles weekend, and fly, Eagles, fly.